Well, good afternoon, Internet people. This here's Mike with Low Def Media, and today, as part of our ongoing series, I am going to review the AKASO Brave 7LE as a low-cost alternative for your vlogging or content creation needs. Now, in the past couple weeks, we've examined a couple other entry-level cameras, a couple being Fuji cameras, a GoPro, and today we've got the AKASO. Now, this is a 4K action cam with a front-facing screen. It has gotten a lot of hype on YouTube. A lot of people are reviewing it, but what I've noticed is that they'll review the camera while using their own camera. Now, they'll show you snippets of what this camera can do in certain situations, but they don't actually film their entire vlog using this camera. So that's what I'm going to do. So this is a normal setup. Got it on a handheld tripod. It's about 1 arm's distance away, using the internal microphone, shooting at 2.7K, 24 frames per second. So this is very similar to what you would have on a GoPro, and this is same settings that I used when I reviewed my GoPro 7. So you can use the two side by side. Again, using the internal mic, there is no mic jack, so there's no way to plug in an external mic. Later, I will pair audio that I've recorded on my iPhone with the video so that you can see, because I would say one of the greatest limitations of this camera is the audio. The other one is the inside video. Everything becomes super mushy. It's not very crisp. And so that is one of my major issues with this camera. Outside, it looks great as long as you have good sunlight. But as soon as you start getting lower light, that's when we have a problem. I did use this for a time-lapse video about a week ago, and that came out great. I clipped it onto the handlebars of my bike, went out and rode for probably, I would say 45 minutes before I turned around, and it came out great. So it does have some benefits, but I'm kind of leery of it as a vlogging camera. So we're going to put it through its paces this week, and this weekend we'll have the culmination video, and you can make your own decision. Love to hear your thoughts on that. The other two scenarios that we will have: outdoor shooting, which I do with every camera, and then an indoor setting with a box light, and again, using better audio. So you can make the decision if it's going to be good for vlogging. All right, this is the handheld test of the AKASO Brave 7LE. This is an action cam that has gotten a lot of attention on YouTube from a lot of other reviewers. The problem I've had with their review, though, is that they don't actually use the camera for the entire vlog. What they do instead is they'll show you snippets of how the camera performs, but then you have to see their review using their high-end camera. So you really don't get a great sense of how well this will perform if you wanted to use it as an everyday vlogging camera, similar to the way people use a GoPro. So in the earlier clip, you saw where I was using it sitting in a room, average lighting, but now handheld, standing in front of a door that's got some natural light coming through, using the built-in microphone. Just going to kind of pan around a little bit and let you see how well the camera focuses while in motion, stabilization, that kind of stuff. You're not going to get any great depth of field with this. Everything is basically in focus. Music is just a tad loud. So there we go. Anyway, so still got some remnants of Christmas thereabouts. You can see that behind me there. Anyway, so this is the AKASO Brave 7LE on a handheld tripod, natural light, built-in microphone. You decide. Okay, this is the in-studio test of the AKASO Brave 7LE. Today I've got it set up in the office with a ring light. I've got it on a tripod, and I'm recording my audio separately, and I'm connecting them together in post. So in my opinion, this is probably the best it's gonna be when it comes to using this camera for vlogging. Now I've got it set at 2.7K at 30 frames per second, only because at 4K, I find that trying to edit those videos becomes rather challenging on my laptop because there's just so much data. So 2.7K ends up being a little easier, and the resolution is still probably as good as you're going to get, being that you have to reduce it down to 1080 to put it onto YouTube anyway. So through this test or review, we've seen this camera used on a handheld, walking around the house. We've seen it here in the office using natural light. And now we're seeing it in a traditional office setting with a light. And my opinion is this: will it work? Yes. For $150, it's perfectly acceptable. It does have enough features in there to make it worth the money that you spend. However, if you're going to compare this camera to a GoPro, which is about $100 more for a GoPro 7 and about $200 to $300 more depending on which version of the 8 or 9 you get, I don't think it's as comparable as they are. Also, you have a phone in your pocket. Your smartphone is probably going to do a better job of being a vlogging camera than this will. Now, when it comes to action camera, this is where it really shines. If you're outside, I'm going to include some B-roll here where I took it and I mounted it on my bike and I went for a bike ride out on a trail locally, and it did great. The stabilization was awesome. I did a time-lapse video. It's crisp, and so that's where it really excels. If you're outside and it's got natural light and it's a really bright day, it's awesome. The internal mic is not horrible. It does really well. When you put on the wind reduction setting, that's when it becomes really muffled, but it does help reduce some of that wind noise. It's decent enough, and it is water resistant. It does come with a ton of other peripherals and stuff in the box that make it well worth the $150 that you might pay, let's say on Amazon, to get this camera. Would I use it every day as a vlogging camera? No. Would I relegate it to just throwing it in my bag and using it as an action camera? Absolutely. So for me, thumbs up on an action camera, thumbs down on a vlogging camera. But you decide. Plenty of stuff to look through on this channel, and there are many other reviews out there on YouTube, so you decide. So for now, this is Mike with Low Def Media. Look forward to seeing you in the next one.